security number issued, 042, which is the first three digits. And since 1973, the Social Security has issued Social Security numbers out of a central office in Baltimore. The first three digits refer to the place where the person applied for the card, not where they were born or where they were a resident. And this card was applied for in Connecticut. The second thing is President Obama had been working in an ice cream shop, Baskin Robbins in Oahu. Baskin Robbins in Oahu.
You say that was 1975, right?
1975, 1976. And they make a big deal out of this at Hawaii, Baskin Robbins. It's on the Obama Was Here famous tour in Oahu. But, you would have thought that Barack Obama at 14 would have applied for a Social Security number from Hawaii, from an Hawaii address where he was a resident, to work in that ice cream shop. And it demands explanation as to why that isn't Barack Obama's Social Security number. Instead, he's using one that was issued in 1977-79 from Connecticut.
Now, let me ask you real quick here, Jerry, to find the Social Security number the President is using, you just can't go to the White House website, can you?
No, and I couldn't do it myself. Chuck, I could never do this.
Didn't they follow something he had filled out or something the other to get his Social Security number?
No, the private investigators are allowed to use law enforcement databases that they have authorization to use, and these databases are very reliable on generating out people's Social Security numbers. Private investigators are licensed to use these databases if they have a case. So I say I was working off of the affidavits that these private investigators submitted to the court. They showed me the searches that they did, but I did not conduct the searches. The Social Security number they came up with, this 042 number, private investigators then went to the Selective Service, the draft board website, and they entered the number President Obama is using with President Obama's name, and they confirmed that that's a Social Security number that corresponds with President Obama, and it generates his Selective Service number. So, this was all brought to me. I'm reporting what the private investigators did, but it is very reliable. And it makes no sense at all. When I took the information to identity theft experts, they said it demands explanation because this is an identity theft pattern. It also appears the Social Security number Barack Obama is using associates with somebody born in 1890. Now, that doesn't mean Barack Obama is 120 years old. What it means is that the card likely was, that's what the private investigators believe, issued to someone else. Maybe somebody born in 1890. By 1977, when they were 87 years old, needed a Social Security number for medical reasons. But then that becomes a good card for identity theft because the person dies, and if you pick up that number, the 042 number, and begin using it, there's nobody who says, wait a minute, that's my Social Security number, because they're long dead.
Boy, now I know the old stories about Chicago, how they would go to, the grave sites and get all those voters. That was a long time ago. I guess that was Al Capone days. But why in the world? And, and some people would say, who cares what Social Security number he has? He's the President of the United States, and he should have a Hawaiian Social Security number or a Kenyan Social Security number.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
You have an Hawaiian one, and this is a classic pattern of identity theft. Now, the private investigators could not prove that President Obama committed identity theft, but it demands explanation. That's what people like Robert Siciliano told me, who, he's a top expert, ID, security theft. He's on television all the time on identity theft. You can't just start using somebody's Social Security number or have a Social Security number that makes no sense for you without it being explained. Why doesn't the White House explain how President Obama got an 042 Social Security number that would only have been issued to someone applying in Connecticut?
With all this transparency, right, the most open White House the nation has ever seen, that was what we were going to get. All right, so he's going to, spend $2 billion not to show the original birth certificate from Hawaii, okay? Fighting that in the courts. But if this Social Security, it's almost humorous, Jerry. that he wouldn't just come out and say, boy, it must be a 6 instead of a 0. It should have been a 640 or whatever. In fact, I don't know in your story or not if you say what Hawaii starts with or not. Is that in there?
No, but I give you the Social Security. I give you the Social Security website. It's easy to look it up.
Okay.
This is not a mistake. The Social Security Administration generally does not make mistakes issuing the first 3 digits in relationship to where you applied for. It's not a mistake. I'm confident it's not a mistake, but it needs an explanation. And again, it fits into the pattern with Barack Obama. Whenever we can get documents, they end up showing us screwy things that were never previously disclosed. I proved this over and over and again. I got the first document showing when President Obama was in Indonesia, 2 schools. He was registered as an Indonesian citizen and as a Muslim. Now, maybe his father just said that, but it contradicts what the campaign said, because I was able to prove that President Obama did get Islamic instruction when he was a child in Indonesia. And when I got the documents, it was made clear that what the White House and the campaign was saying, certainly the campaign at that time, was just misrepresenting the facts. Maybe that's why Barack Obama doesn't want us to see the documents. Maybe there's a lot of misrepresentations about who he is in the official Nativity Obama story, or the Obama official Nativity story and the official life story. We've got an undocumented president, and that's why the Social Security number is just another in a long string of missing documents or quirks that demand explanation from the White House.
I'll tell you something, Jerry. I bet if you went over to Kenya, okay, or somewhere near there even, and you took, let's say, a guy you work closely with, we'll call him Tim, and started investigating all this, chances are you could get locked up. Or, oh, wait a minute, you guys were locked up. You remember that story, listeners?
Yeah. I got deported out of Kenya.
They locked you up for a while, and
we got apprehended for trying to give a press conference in Kenya. I'd been there for about a month. I'd met with the vice president. But when I wanted to give a press conference about Obama and Odinga...
They came and got you. Hey, listen, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back and wrap it up with Dr. Jerry Corsi, WorldNet Daily, Red Alert Newsletter. Be right back.